What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Motorfest. So in this video, I do want to go over the best part set build you guys need to have for the drift cars right now. Now, of course, I would say over time with different part sets coming out in like summits, this is obviously going to change with different ones coming out, like how it was in the Crew 2, but now I do want to mention, by the way, guys, when recording this video, the summit obviously wasn't active, mainly because, it does come out on Wednesday. When recording this video, today is obviously Monday, but nonetheless, though, the main reason why I did want to make this is I would say many people might be wondering, what is the best actual like base build set you can have, and do you actually need a full part set on your vehicle right now for the drift class to actually be good? So the first thing I would have to say to that, guys, is going to be a no. You do not need an actual part set on your vehicle for it to do good, at least for the drift class anyway. That's also going to come down to the fact that, well, many of the events for drifting, obviously you have to drift, so if you are looking to have a crazy high multiplier on a drift build, you will definitely have to wait for the future, and at least a summit to release similar to the Crew 2 having like a special set. But for this, guys, the first thing you can do that will definitely make this easier is going to be here in your legend points. Head over to your vehicle and or gameplay here. Now the main reason for this, guys, is having your hothead and or slippery maxed out is probably the greatest thing you can do for a drift car, even if one of the events is like a race. I would definitely recommend having all of your points on Slippery and or Hothead, especially for a drift car. That way you can get like the most out of them for these events. But I do know, guys, on the other side though, not everybody has maxed out points on this because not everybody is because not everybody is level 1352 and or doing like an exploit for XP. So as of right now, I think I'm only like level 60 in this season, so I'm obviously not that high ranked for this one, but as long as you guys do have at least 80 points total, I would definitely recommend having all 80 points on these two exact things here. That way you can do summits and or at least get like the highest possible multiplier for this. But the other thing, guys, here I would say is going to be a bit of a shock. I do know a lot of people right away probably most likely want like a chemist set or like a score breaker and or just like any set they can possibly get their hands on. But fun fact here, guys, one thing I found absolutely insane is, you ready for this? You do not have to have a full set of anything on these cars for the drift cars to actually be good. So for example, as you'll see right here, I'm basically running random parts, but as you will see, all my affixed stats are going to be the exact same. So hothead and or slippery on every single one. Now, the big thing I do want to point out here, guys, is yes, you could obviously have a full chemist set and or like a score breaker, which I will be making separate videos on those in the near future, but to be 100% honest, you do not have to have any set on these drift cars, at least right now. The biggest thing is you have to have hothead and or slippery on every single one. Now, the main issue with this is, of course, going to be the money and or spare parts you might need. I do know a lot of players might go, well, Blocked, it's only 1,500 bucks and 150 spare parts. I will then go back and say, well, yes, but even though re-rolling these affixed stats, guys, they are obviously going to stay at 1,500 bucks and or 150 spare parts. In the Crew 2, it obviously went well over 1,000 spare parts and or $16,000 per re-rolling. So I would say on that game, it's obviously going to be a lot more expensive. I have to admit though, guys, on Motorfest, it's definitely not going to be that much better. And the main reason why I say that is I spent a lot of money just getting this exact same build. I think I spent, yes, around $400,000 and at least 100,000 plus spare parts to do so, which is insane, considering it's only 150 spare parts to do so. But do keep in mind, you guys can't obviously spam this like that, so at least the overall cost of re-rolling like a part is going to be far cheaper than it was before, which I would say is going to be an absolute win. Now the thing though, guys, is yes, it is only $1,500 to do so. It's kind of funny because sometimes I would go to like re-roll these parts. I would then look up and basically be down $700,000 to get like the best build. For example, currently on the hypercar class, I am trying to get a good nitrochemist build, even though I am missing one part still to this day. And I would say, guys, the RNG, by the way, is pretty awful on this game, even with a full loot digger. Do keep that in mind, by the way, when you guys are grinding. But if you guys are wondering, by the way, what is the highest multiplier, at least right now in Motorfest, that you can have on a drift car? Now, do keep in mind, guys, this is going to be including the legend points on 40 and 40 for Slippery, and or Hothead for that matter, at like the increased speed and or multiplier. But Slippery is going to be the main one with the highest multiplier, and that is by far going to be the biggest thing here. So a maxed out one here, guys, is going to be around 188. do keep in mind that's with every single part having a maxed out at 14% of fixed stats. So the biggest thing here, guys, I would probably say is going to be the price and or RNG you might have to go through to get maxed out of fixed stats. But having the maxed out of fixed stats on every gold part you guys have is by far the biggest thing. So you can have all random parts on your vehicle, but as long as each one is maxed out, you will then be able to have a max of 188 for every drift event. So this is going to be huge, guys. That way you can get a crazy high score, and at least when summits do come by, not only can you get like a high score, you can also get into platinum. The best way to sum this up, though, is all you guys will have to do is have all your legend points on Slippery and or Hothead, and make sure you guys have those exact 2 perks on every single gold part. That way you can have a max multiplier of 188. Besides all that, though, guys, I do want to mention I will be going over the Nitro Chemist and or Score Breaker sets in the future, and to really test out which one truly is a better option. If you guys have any questions at all, let me know in the comments below, and as always, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more insight.